That's interesting, actually. Surely you just put the anti-vaxxers on one floor. Your building's like 20 floors high.
Moving swiftly on from whether we can be racist to white people, Sen. Let me change the topic whilst we can.
In his second term at Hogwarts School of Mozambique and Wizardry.
Welcome back to Critical Banter, where we take the best bits from your favourite late night shows and package them into a podcast. So for today's episode, we'll be playing Madlibs, as well as ranking the characters from the popular Netflix show Squid Game on Compare and Contrast. Before those segments, to wrap the week, we've got me, Miguel, we've got Rohit.
G'day.
And we've got Sen.
Hello, boys. This week, the government said that come 1st of December, whether you're unvaxxed or vaxxed, you can go hammer and tong wherever you want. We're going to live La Vida Loca. And so my firm sent out an email saying that, come December 1st, that's a tentative date. We'll see you back in the office. And last week they sent out a survey as well, just saying, how comfortable are you working with people who are unvaccinated? And, well, I clearly said with my chest, I don't want to fucking work anywhere near people who are unvaccinated. Get the swine away from me. Turns out my work has quite a vocal minority of unvaxxed people. And they're like, how does the firm stand with, and they were pulling out like legislation and like doctorates from like the US, like about people forcing people to get vaccinated and like, there's no medical based evidence of this. They haven't done enough trials, blah, blah, blah. And I was frankly shocked, to be honest. Like I thought I worked with, quite intelligent people, well-educated people. Turns out there's at least, I reckon, 20%, maybe not 20, 15%. 20%. There is quite a lot of people who are not willing to get vaccinated. And I'm going to have to soon mingle with them. Because we had like a town hall and like people were sending in anonymous questions. And like the questions about anti-vaxx, like they were getting 300-400 likes. And like
anonymous likes, or is it
anonymous likes? Yeah, it's anonymous likes. It was all anonymous. You couldn't see any of it, but there was like a decent chunk of people who were against it. And I'm frankly scared.
Wowee. That's interesting, actually. Surely you just put the anti-vaxxers on one floor. Your building's like 20 floors high.
I'm pretty sure that's still discrimination of some sort. It's still segregation. Isn't that why Rosa Parks?
You guys can get the penthouse and they can have the one below that. That's fine.
But I don't know. Like, have your work like already said like when you have to go back to the office, and is there like have they already sent out feelers of like the people who are vaxxed versus unvaxxed?
Yeah, no, my workplace is also the same in terms of like in every email, they sign talk about how, it's a option to get vaccinated. They're not trying to force it upon people. They're very careful with their words. Because I feel like we're the same. There's a big vocal minority. If you start to say that it's forced or you have to get vaccinated to work, it's going to start chirping. So my workplace is very careful in saying whether they support vaccinations or not.
It's like, you know how during Pride Month, like all the workplaces suddenly just chuck out rainbow flags left, right, and center?
Yeah.
Bro, they just go where the tide turns. Like when it was vaccinations are mandatory and you can't go into the office unless you're vaccinated, they're like, all for vaccinations, anti-vax people should be like lynched, blah, blah, blah. Suddenly when it's an option, it's like, oh, we're accommodating, we're equal opportunity, we love you guys, mingle together, all that sort of stuff.
Wasn't there also like a restaurant chain recently, Rashays, however you want to say it? They're saying like they're not going to open until everyone can go in. Because here in Sydney, it's like soon places are opening up just for vaccinated people. Whereas this company has taken a stand. They're like, we don't want to, exclude people. We're about equal opportunity, blah, blah, blah. So we're only going to open up when we can allow vaxxed, unvaxxed, anyone in, which I think is outrageous, low key.
Maybe it's just their gimmick. Like Qantas and stuff, like airlines are very staunch. We're not going to let you on the plane unless you're vaccinated. But I think with businesses and all that sort of stuff, like it's a little bit harder to have that stance. Because like you might be turning away like 30% of your clientele potentially.
I saw a comment for the Rashays one that they're only doing that because 90% of their clients are anti-vax.
Yeah. Like where they're located are in the hotspots of the anti-vax movement potentially. Oh man, you see, now this is why I have no trust in anyone anymore. Like now that you mentioned that, it's actually true. It's like that's probably why they're doing it.
They take a stance when it's convenient.
I'm standing by my thoughts though. I'm not going anywhere near an office space if I know that there are unvaxxed people there.
Proudly unvaxxed, no less.
Yeah, exactly. They're even more dangerous.
They're licking the desks, bro. They're that proud.
Should there be like name tags or something? Should there be some sort of
Brand them.
visible differentiator? Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you're vaxxed if I'm sitting next to you, Sen, unless I ask you about it, which is a kind of weird conversation.
No, but that's why you have the vaccine passport. Just whip it out.
What?
Now, surely you got to wear like a wristband or something, bro.
Yeah, yeah. It's like
Green for vax, red for not. It's like VIP access at a festival.
yeah, it's like if you're under 18, you have to wear the wristband so you can't drink or whatever. It's not a bad idea. I like it. I think our office has said, well, they were potentially going full remote. Like they were thinking about giving up the lease for our office space full stop.
Shit. I'm pretty sure I think Atlassian did that as well. Like one of the biggest tech firms here in Australia did like a fully work from home. I think Google as well, I think, did the same thing.
No, Google did something rogue, bro. They're like, if you work from home, because I think they're thinking, especially in the US, if you work in a different state for the same job, you get a different wage. So, for example, like New York, you'll earn 10% more than if you work in Texas or something, right? So the hack is you work in New York, but you work from home in Texas. So you get the best of both worlds, right? You get the better wage, but you live at home. So they're like, if you work from home, you don't get the high wage anymore. You get like the baseline
I'm all for
wage
that, to
or
be
something
honest.
like that. Nah, bro, that's a rort.
I'm all for that.
Of course you are, you capitalist pig.
So the business is like, oh, by the way, you go home, you pay for your own Wi-Fi, you pay for your own facilities, and I'll pay you 10% less because you live in Texas or Arkansas,
Yes.
Mississippi.
Okay, we get it. You know some states.
Stop naming them.
But yeah, that's what Google's doing, bro. It's disgusting.
So like, you can read SEC report filings on like how much executives get paid at these big firms. And so I was bored one day. So I was going through
You know that's
them 'cause I saw a
international,
TikTok
right?
video. Is it?
Yes, even Australian companies do that. The annual report.
I didn't know that. Whatever. The TikTok only said American companies. So I went and read the SEC filings. Yeah. Like, well, actually they were like talking about how if you wanted to get a job or something like that, read the SEC report. It'll tell you about, you know, what the company's mission statement or whatever, right? But I was going through the report because I was kind of bored. And this is
It's a rogue way to spend just free time.
Yeah.
how much spare time I have. And did they disclose like how much the executives earn at big companies?
Mm.
So I looked at like what my old tech firm earned, and CEO was like 9 million. I was like, oh wow, that's a lot of money.
Jesus.
Mr. Sundar from Google, $250 million last year.
Excuse me? Is that in stocks or in actual cash he's getting that?
It's mostly in stocks, but still,
That's
Unreal.
outrageous. I'll take a tenth of that, thank you. Or even 100th.
really any part of that pie.
Anyway, speaking of questionable firm decisions, this week here in Australia, PwC Australia have been under fire for actions that happened at, I think it was like a team building event or something like that. And so it was like HR executives as well that came out and they put on like a sketch comedy show, you know, Saturday Night Live. I'm sure they do similar things.
Critical Banter podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So a part of this sketch show, they had a sketch where they had a sketch about the coronavirus and they had someone dress up as the Wuhan bat. And they've copped a lot of criticism for this in social media and Instagram, and it's even gone into like print media now as well. And so, and I think as part of that as well, they had like a trivia game, and they had like the logos, and the question was, pick the logo that shows communism, and the correct answer was the Huawei logo.
You can't be
Are
doing
you
that.
serious?
You can't be doing that.
You just can't be doing that.
So right now, the PwC CEO like straight up just said, you know, like we're launching an investigation into this, blah blah blah. Like, and apparently, like what I've heard, this is all rumors at this point, this part. But apparently, this was like signed off by multiple partners. Apparently, like a lot of higher up people's like signed off on this, so they saw like what they were going to do, and they thought, you know, that's fine. You know, I'm sure this is fine in 2021 that you can get away with racially profiling and abusing, especially when you consider like PwC like the diversity. Like I'm sure, you know what, like 20%, 30% Asian. So you can imagine like a lot of people are upset about this. And what I've heard is apparently like the HR people are going to take the blame for this, even though it was signed off by higher ups, and they're basically being thrown under the bus.
Scapegoats,
Essentially scapegoats, yeah. And they're getting forced to sign like NDAs and everything. This is outrageous. This is like
but
one
the
of
outrageous
greatest-
thing is that the person that dress up as a bat, if you see in the article, they're the head of diversity and inclusion. First of all, how is that a role? How do you get qualified for that role? And secondly, clearly, old mate over here wasn't.
That is a little bit. That's crazy. First of all, was it a Batman outfit? Like, what was the?
No, it was just a bat. It was literally just an anatomically accurate bat.
They didn't even get it right, bro. It should have been a pangolin. It should have been a pangolin, not a bat. If you want to be accurate.
But I just don't understand. Like, at what point someone, like, as if no one just raised the question, not even just like, just to like, did someone at some point be like, is this the right thing to do? Does anyone like? Was it the writing stage when they were rehearsing for it? When they were getting approval, there were so many parts,
so many steps
where they could have just, for once, they can just thought about it. Just
they had to buy the costume and expense it to the firm. Actually, at that point, you see a large bat costume. You're asking questions. Surely,
is this the world we live on now? Like, where this sort of behavior is okay, and we're just expected to just accept it? Like, it's fine. Like, can we be racist towards white people now? That's
a whole nother conversation, Seth. That is a whole nother conversation.
No, I'm just saying, you got to fight fire with fire.
Moving swiftly on from whether we can be racist to white people, Seth. Let me change the topic whilst we can. So this week, as I mentioned at the start of the episode, we are doing a tier list on Squid Game, which is a TV show, which was an idea Rohit threw up during the week. He's like, I've watched the show, it's trending, let's do a tier list on it. He yelled at us to watch it before we record or else.
Please.
So he said this on like a Wednesday, right? So today's Saturday of recording. Friday night, last night, we hopped on Warzone and Rohit's just like, boys, have you finally watched Squid Game? And that's when I clicked. I knew I was meant to do something this week. So at like 11 p.m, I'm like, brother, I have not watched it. And he was like, what do you mean, bro? It's like a whole season. We're recording tomorrow, aren't we? And I'm like, brother, trust the process. Even though I don't watch TV shows at all, trust the process. So after we hopped off at midnight, mate, I started. Season episode 1, 12. Episode 2, 1 a.m. Episode 3, 2 p.m. Episode 4, 3 a.m. And up to sleeping at like 5 a.m, bro. I got hooked. It was on a real show. I slept at 5 a.m. And then, obviously, I have a dog. My dog was barking at 8 a.m. So that's 3 hours of sleep for me. So I'm already like half awake, right? But already in my head, I'm like, I want to know what happens next in this TV show. I can't go back to sleep without knowing. So I hop back on it. I'm watching the rest of the seasons. By 11 a.m, boys, 9 hours of Squid Game watched.
Are you serious?
Mate, I sped run it.
I can't be helped.
Yeah, that is a massive, impressive effort. Like, I did not think you were going to get through the episodes at all. Because
he had no faith in me last night.
Dude, 9 episodes, an hour, give or take.
Dude,
each.
they were an hour as well. I thought they were half an hour, and I'm like, I could probably smash that in one night. No, they're an hour. That's 9 hours worth, 10 hours even, because some are just like just over an hour.
But there is one episode that's like 40 minutes.
No, that's what I said. I'm like, right here, bro. Some of them are half an hour, relax. And he's like, no, there's just one.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit. I fucked up my timing here. But what I didn't know, and thank God, is Netflix have just like the lecture, just like our uni lectures, they have like a 1.25 speed, a 1.5 speed. So, those scenes where they're trying to build dramatic effect and like it drags on,
No, you're meant
they don't
no
want
drama.
They don't want you to know. They want you to be in suspense. Whatever. The plus 10 seconds thing as well, where you can skip 10 seconds. Oh,
That's
mate.
disgusting.
You didn't watch it properly then. No.
Used unreal. I know the full plot. I don't care.
The only time you can skip stuff is the intro music, like we discussed last week. You can't just be skipping dialogue. And like,
exactly.
Dude, they get to the same conclusion, like, bro. Whether I know the backstory or not, same conclusions. I'm saying with my chest, I have watched the entirety of season 1 of Squid Game.
I read a Netflix article about how, not a Netflix article, just an article about Netflix and how they've like inspired binge watching, because like before, right, an episode would come out once a week, but now Netflix drops like this whole season in one day. And they were talking about how like a bit of community is lost because you're all on the same page. If an episode comes out once a week, you're hopping on the forums, you're talking about it. Oh, what's going to happen next? Now it's like you watch everything at once and then you talk about kind of the whole show in its entirety versus each individual episode.
I prefer the weekly, like living and dying every week, the roller coaster. I remember like Game of Thrones, especially the last few seasons. So the last season, especially, like as soon as the episode dropped, like message the boys, have you watched it yet? Go on Reddit, read the Reddit threads.
You gotta block out social media before you watch it as well.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones was all over the place.
that'll never happen again. Because like, especially like you said, with all these streaming services, they just drop it all in one go. Where's the suspense?
So Disney is dropping it one at a time. They're standing firm. Disney Plus.
I think Apple as well. So like, I don't know if anyone watches Ted Lasso, but they do one episode a week. Pretty good, but doesn't have the same. I don't know. It just doesn't hit the same. It's not like the cultural phenomenon that like Game of Thrones was, for example, or even like How I Met Your Mother back in the day.
But the thing is, I kind of like binging. Like, I kind of enjoy the fact that I can get instantly gratified.
I think that's a whole other issue. Hooked the dopamine of instant gratification.
Dude, my dopamine, it's just going off the charts every single time. To be fair, Squid Game was a good series, but like, it's apparently on track to be the biggest watched or the biggest Netflix show. And for those of you who haven't seen it, we'll be spoiling it later on, so don't worry about that. You'll be seeing it pretty soon. However,
you'll get through it quicker than I did.
Exactly. It was good, but was it that good? Migs, what's your judgment on Squid Game?
How do I talk about this without spoiling it is the question. I feel like, because at the end of most episodes, there was a cliffhanger. So I feel like if it was a weekly thing, you're hooked. Because like the reason why I was up until like 5 a.m. is because there was a cliffhanger. But I could already watch the next episode. So I'm like, fuck, I got to watch it. I got to know what happens. So I feel like that's taking away from it. The fact you can watch the whole thing at one go. I feel like if it was a weekly thing, you'd have been more emotionally invested. You'd be like, I can't.
I was emotionally invested. There was some parts in it though. I won't spoil it, but there was some parts which I didn't really enjoy. But whatever. Let's move on to some segments.
All right, guys. The game this week is Madlibs. I'm going to ask you for some words. We're going to put them into a paragraph and see what comes out. So, Manny, you're first up, and your passage is about Snow White. So, from you, I'm going to need the following. I'm going to need an adjective.
What's an adjective again?
Describing word.
Yeah, righto. Creepy.
Seems like an attack. Occupation.
Occupation. Chauffeur.
All right. Another adjective.
Wet.
Wait, is chauffeur a reference to Squid Game?
Yeah, that's all I could think of.
This man's on a binge still. Sorry, what was the adjective?
Wet.
Righto. A noun.
Nunchuck.
Color.
Magenta.
Number.
7.5.
It's not okay. Fine. Fantasy creature. Plural.
Zombies.
Zombies. All right. Another noun.
Battery.
Verb ending in S.
How many fucking words are there? Screams.
Food.
Rice.
Noun.
Bin.
Type of material.
Rune.
Good.
Mate,
Is rune a real thing?
it's real on RuneScape, so it's real to us.
Type of container.
Duffel bag.
And finally, another noun.
Noun will end with a car.
So, from the creepy fairy tale, a jealous chauffeur attempts to get rid of her wet step nunchuck. Snow Magenta.
Snow Magenta.
Who takes refuge with 7.5 zombies in their forest battery.
Snow.
The chauffeur changes into a witch and screams Snow Magenta with the poison rice.
Snow Magenta.
And screams Snow Magenta with the poison rice, which puts her into an everlasting bin. Until a prince finds her in a ruined duffel bag and awakes her with love's first car.
Rune. Snow Magenta sounds just like a fucking rip-off, bro.
All right. Ro, it's your turn now. And from you, I'm going to need... Oh, and your passage is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh, excellent. One of my favorites.
Don't butcher it then, Ro.
All right. So I'm going to need a noun from you to begin with.
Mozambique.
Yeah, righto.
All right. Then I'm going to need a famous person.
You will get Owen Wilson.
Of course we will.
Come off it.
Still on it. A mythical creature.
Hydra.
All right.
That's one, right?
That's
I don't know Hydra from... Yeah.
Is it?
I don't know.
What's the three-headed creature?
Yeah, it's a Hydra. It is a Hydra.
Is that a Hydra? Yeah.
It's
Isn't
a
that
Hydra,
a
yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh card? Like Blue Eyes
Is-
three-headed dragon? Is that not a thing?
Stop.
Don't worry about
Next, I'll need a noun.
Loincloth.
What?
it. What are these words you've been giving, bro?
It's a cloth. It's a cloth that covers your loins.
I don't even know where my loins are. I'm going to need a verb.
Pulverizing.
Another verb ending in ed.
Let's go tiptoed.
Another famous person.
The one and only Vince Vaughan.
The one and only. Another verb ending in ed.
Pulverized. Smashed.
Theme
Let's
here,
keep it
nice.
dramatic.
An adjective.
Seductively.
Man's writing Brokeback Mountain 2.0 or something.
Yeah. A noun, plural.
Let's go with goats.
All right, and another famous person.
Double D, Danny DeVito.
Where did have you been watching Danny DeVito movies recently? I know where Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson comes from.
I was watching a Always Sunny in Philadelphia clip.
Fair enough. Next up, I need a occupation.
Let's go with translator.
All right. Adjective.
Delightfully.
Yeah, nice change of pace. Adverb.
Quickly.
All right. Type of material, and you can't say rune.
No, I wasn't going to say rune. I was going to say mithril.
Oh, is that your answer?
Yeah, it can be my answer.
All right.
Maybe not. Polyester. Let's be
All
serious.
Right, thank you.
Oh, now we're being serious.
I need an occupation.
Accountant.
And finally, an adjective.
Is this the last one?
Yes.
Selfishly.
All right. So now, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. In his second term at Hogwarts School of Mozambique and Wizardry, Harry Potter, played by Owen Wilson, is warned by a Hydra named Dobby that loincloth will pulverizing when he returns to Hogwarts.
It's not great.
Besides the fact that he is still tiptoed by Professor Snape, played by Vince Vaughn, and smashed by Draco Malfoy, Tom Felton, Harry gets off to a seductively start with his two best goats, Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger, played by Danny DeVito. Also, famous translator Gilderoy Lockhart has joined the Hogwarts staff and is the new defense against the delightfully arts teacher. But now Hogwarts students are quickly being turned into polyester. But who is the one doing it? Malfoy? Accountant Hagrid? Or even Harry? But what if it's Lord Voldemort trying to make his selfishly return?
This is...
had potential. It's just...
Had potential. There was a few blips there, I think.
If I went selfish instead of selfishly, and then like a bunch of... If I just got rid of the LYs and just had them straight, I think that would have been all right. But alas, that's the game sometimes.
So it's the game, and I think Manny's, because his made perfect sense, sadly, throughout the entire thing. I wouldn't have to give it to him. All right, boys, as mentioned at the top, we are doing Compare and Contrast, aka the tier list this week, and we are doing it for the Squid Game. We're tiering the characters, so this is your last chance, your warning. If you haven't seen the show and you do intend to see it, skip ahead, because there are many, many spoilers in the next 15 minutes or so. So, yeah, spoiler alert. If you don't want to get spoiled, skip to the outro.
Maybe don't skip to the outro, just skip to episode 1. Just start again. I suggest.
We'll catch you in a few weeks.
If this week's episode 40 minutes, if you need an extra 20 minutes, episode 1. And before you know it, you're back to episode 120.
But yes, we'll get into it, and I'll read out the tiers. The top tier is That's Incredible. These are comedian jokes. These hit the back of the room. These aren't for the masses. So the next tier below that is Squid Pro Quo.
Excellent.
We all get a bit of something out of this, hopefully. The middle one is Are You Squidding Me?
Yeah, sir.
The fourth one is Squid Row. Like Skid Row. A bit of thinking went into this one. And the last one is Squid Mark.
Oh, you don't want to be there.
You don't want to be there. So, boys, to begin us off, the main character is Song Hee-hon, player 456, the main character of the show. Boys, where do we put him?
All right, I've got a couple of thoughts on number 456.
Main character,
Heart of Gold. However, degenerate gambler who had his daughter's birthday and then used the money to gamble.
That first episode, I hated him from the get-go.
Dude, big time.
When he stole his mum's credit card, that set the tone that he's a scum.
Yeah.
He gambles it. And I don't know. But did he redeem himself throughout the series? You know, heart of gold, as you said. He didn't want his companions to die.
Agreed. Because, like, yeah, you're right. The first 2 episodes, right? he was scum because the fact, he stole his mom's credit card. He lost all his money to gambling. But then, he also feeds the little fish to cats, even though he doesn't have that much money.
That is true.
And then he does redeem himself, as he goes on, befriends the old man, forms a little
But he
posse,
lies
quite
the old
loyal.
man when push comes to shove. He swindles the
That
old
is
man,
true.
shows his true colors, dare I suggest.
With the marbles, that is true. And he got caught as well on top of that.
Exactly, he got done.
I think his positives do outweigh the negatives. I think he does have more redeeming qualities than bad. We are human after all.
Exactly. No one's perfect.
So I want to put him in Squid Pro Quo. Thoughts?
I'd agree. He's better than most characters, but I'm not putting him at the top.
Hundo.
All right, boys. Next one up then is Cho Sung-woo, who is Song Eon's childhood friend. Player 218. Where do we think he goes?
In the bin. Dude,
In
dirty boy.
I hated him from the start. He's a rat. He's a weasel.
Bro, he's the biggest mole on the show. At least with the other characters,
off.
right? From the start, you don't like them. But this guy, bro, is just sneaky, snaky boy, and he just disregards Mr. Ali. All right? My man put a gun to his head and blew his brains out. That's essentially what he did.
My heart broke when opens the bag. Rocks. Oh,
Rocks.
I just got goosebumps, bro. I just got chills. From the get-go, he's a scum. From the start where he what was the first one where he knew the game but didn't tell the boys?
Yeah.
He knew it was the sugar game and he let them pick the hard shapes. He let them pick the fucking all that.
Umbrella and whatnot. Dude, I don't get why he did that. That literally made no sense to me whatsoever. Why he just withheld that.
I don't know if the show was meant to be it's an even split between the shapes. I think he just wanted the least amount of people in the easy shape. That was my understanding of it. And then what hurt as well, when you had to pick a partner, cold shoulder to our main character. 4, 5, 6.
Childhood friends.
Childhood friend.
Meant nothing.
Not even an icon. He couldn't even get himself to look him in the eye before he stabbed him in the back. In the bin. Skid mark. Squid mark.
Squid mark. I agree. Absolute squid mark.
Nothing higher.
All right, fellas. Next one up is the North Korean defector, Kang Se-byuk, player number 67. Dicey character, this one, boys. Where do you think she goes?
Kang Byuk, bro. Get her at the top. I fell in love. I fell in love. What a character.
No, dude.
Dude.
It's just weird.
Yeah, but, as the series went on, you understood her character. She's had hardships.
I don't think I still understood that character.
She had hardships. She had to defect for a better life for her family. Her father died when they were crossing the border from North Korea to South Korea. I've invested in this character, bro. Don't take this away from me. Mother got shipped back to North Korea, trying to get her back. Simple. It's a simple request. She wants her mother and her brother together, and she's doing everything she can.
Yeah, there was some heart. There was some. My heart was tugged at with the scenes of her and her brother. But mate, she's a thief, bro. She literally steals from people. Other gamblers, nonetheless.
She does what she has to. All right. At all costs.
What's the saying? Do the means justify the ends?
Do the ends justify the means? I'm saying
that's
for her and her alone, yes.
All right, so where do you want to put her then?
Nah, it's outrageous if I put her at the top.
She's not at the top. I'm is she the second one up? Is she Squid Pro Quo or are you squidding me? Because I'm feeling are you squidding me big time?
I'm trying to think of the characters. I'm putting it relative to the other. She was far and above most of the characters. Was she though? Am I blinded by love, bro? Is that what this is?
I think you're blinded by the attractiveness of the character, which I don't really see that. She's all right. She's not bad looking.
This is a Squid Game aside, first acting job, bro. She's a model. Don't take this away from her.
Oh, right. Okay. I thought she was a nobody. This is her first ever, big project.
Nah, she was a professional model coming into this and then
let's be real, right?
Job.
She didn't have to do she doesn't have to do much acting.
Hey,
her acting was just sit
you
and
said
look a little bit
she
forlorn.
tugged at your heartstrings. That takes acting.
No,
that takes acting.
The character tugged at my heartstrings. Bro, all she did, right, the whole of her acting career was sit there, look angry, and pull out a knife every 10 seconds. That's
unreal.
It. That's all she did.
Unreal.
That's all she
Oscar.
did. But I'm willing to, for the character alone, I am willing to negotiate and put her at Squid Pro Quo.
Bay should go in Squid Pro Co. Nothing lower.
All right, next one up. It's a bit of a tough one to pronounce. Abdul Ali. Apologies if I got that one wrong. But player 199, the only brother in the show so far, and someone that I have a soft spot for after 2 episodes. But boys, where do we see him?
There's only one place where this man goes. This guy is an angel. First of all, the brown guy who speaks Korean. I love that. I love the diversity in the show.
Unreal.
Secondly, no need to bloody grab main character number 456's shirt as he's tripping in the first game, the green light, red light. Literally no reason. And he did it, saved his life, and literally was nothing but loyal for the whole show before he got backstabbed.
And then just within that, the sheer strength to hold a grown man up with one hand, no moving at all.
No movement, 0. Oh,
bonus points in that. And you're right, heart of gold, you know? He kept calling him sir even if he didn't have to. Respect. He was showing respect. Broke my heart to get backstabbed.
That was,
his goodness got taken advantage of. You know, his kindness.
Yeah, he was so trusting. And then that guy just, oh man. This guy is going at the top.
I agree. Right to the top. Right to the top.
All right, boys. Next one up is Or Il Num, player 001, the old man.
What a twist.
Didn't care for it. Did not care for it though.
Really?
I will say I did not care for it. How did he fucking survive? He's meant to get shot in the head.
Yeah, but so the whole point, right, was like he's like the owner of the game or whatever, and he was like one of those. That was weird. That was also a little bit weird.
It doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense.
Like these rich geezers who just like watch the games and like put bets, and then turns out he's a rich geezer, but then he's like, oh, I don't want to put bets because it's not fun, so I'm going to play the game. I didn't really understand the twist, but the old man played me for a fool. He was nice, caring. Like a little, the brain tumor as well. He had a whole backstory.
Actually, you're right. In the episode where he dies, that got to me as well. You know, they pick their partner. They're meant to be boys, best friends. Then all of a sudden, marbles. He's getting lied to by a main character. 456.
456.
He kept asking, "What did I say?"
Yeah, but then he lied about that.
Yeah, but
he lied about that.
No, but that's fine. Because in the end, he's still like, you know what? You go ahead and take the marbles. I will sacrifice my life for you. Even if that was a lie, which we figured out in the end, at the time, oh, mate. I'm getting goosebumps again just thinking about it.
Bro, no. I wasted tears on that guy. I literally wasted it. Like a single droplet came down my eye when that scene happened. And I feel so betrayed by the fact that he's actually not who he said he was.
Yeah, you're right. No, I'm in that moment in time, tears. Overall, don't care for him. I'll be honest. When he died at the end, I'm like, that's what you get, you bitch.
Squid Row for me. That's where I'm putting him. But happy to discuss.
No, I agree. Squid Row. Not scum, but he's not in my good books.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
All right, next one up. Actually, just as an aside, like this show is essentially just Big Brother, right? Like they get down on their luck people, like outcasts of society. They just shove them in a massive house. They're watched at all times. They do various games, and then when they're eliminated, instead of being sent home, they just die. I mean, this is how Big Brother should actually be, in my opinion. I've watched it every night.
It's cheaper than getting a plane home. Just pop them off and burn their bodies.
Just take them out the back and just pull it in the back of the head. There's Channel 10. There's your next idea for next year. So next character is Chong Duk-soo, player 101, and the guy with the snake face tattoo.
The big bully. What do we think?
Rubbed me the wrong way as he's meant to. He's the villain. Rubbed me the wrong way the whole time. He got played though. He's meant to be this smart big guy leader of the group. One, he gets played. Two, gets in his head when they're like, you see your gang, they're going to kill you at night. It's not going to be us.
True.
It's going to be your own boys. Got him insecure. So he's not, he was a weak character that was meant to be playing a big man. Classic bully.
Yes, agreed. He was just doing what he had to do though. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was a bit of an asshole, but like, man, he's just playing the game.
Game's the game.
But what did you think? So like, you're saying he's a bully, he's insecure. Did you like his character? Did you not like his character?
At no point did I like his character. Can you tell me there was a single point in the show where you like his character? Again, we take it back to the marbles game when he Miraculous comeback. Liverpool versus Milan-esque when they brought it back. He had one marble and somehow got all 20. That upset me. I wanted to.
I actually thought he was going to die at that point.
Yeah, but again, he was a bad guy being a bad guy. He wasn't a bad guy trying to play a good guy. So for that, I can't put him bottom tier. But Squid Row still. He's trash, scum. Fuck him off.
Agreed.
All right, boys. And lastly, Han Nyo, player 212, the manipulative woman who claims to be a single mother, which is a spoiler for me because I thought she actually was a single mother. I do remember she was quite hysterical and was desperate to leave.
Bro, I thought she still was. I thought she still was till now, bro.
Well, apparently, according to Wiki reviews Squid Game, it's a farce. She pretends.
Never confirmed. That's what I'll say to you, Senny. But what do we think of this character?
Surely, like you just mentioned, when the first episode, before they went back again for the second time, she's like, "Just let me home, please, sir.
Yes.
Let me home. I got a kid. I got a young boy at home that I need to take care of. Blah blah blah."
Yes. And I also did like the fact, when she went to town with old Snake Tattoo, that she was playing him like a fiddle. I did like that part. Not because it was a sex scene or anything.
That was good.
That aside.
Yeah.
Just the manipulation of the big dog.
So I respect her. I've got a little bit of a different take, right? I respect her because she was hustling. She knew what the situation was. She knew she had to play different sides to get what she needed. So she was with the thugs. Then she tried to join the, the little main trio or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was kicked out, but she was trying her best. And
yeah, because that's how you would be in the Hunger Games, bro. You're backstabbing everyone just to get an advantage. You resonate with her.
Bro, 45.6 million won on the line. And you're telling me you wouldn't do the same thing?
Just quietly, the funny thing is when you go on Google and you type in the number 4, the top search is 46.5 million won to US dollars.
How much is it?
I think it's like 36 million US dollars or something.
Sheesh. So you for $36 million.
That's worth more in Korea as well because standard of living, that sort of...
Purchasing power and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. Purchasing power parity. Anyway, that aside...
Quick economics lesson for you.
Supply and demand. But no, just at every single point, when she couldn't get a partner, when the no teams wanted her, she was just annoying. She was getting found out. All the people in there knew she was a manipulative snake and no one wanted her, rightly so as well. But I will say, at the end, she did slightly redeem herself when she took the big dog out with her. Played him like a fiddle till the end.
That was a big play. Nice
whatever
one.
That
big time
whatever
play.
The line was, till death together.
I will put her in the middle tier.
Middle tier.
That's where I want to put her. Because, she's not a bad guy pretending to be a good guy, or a girl in this case.
Yep.
And she's definitely better than the thug. But she's not better than our main friend number 1.
Yeah, you're right. Because, she was scummy, but only to her advantage. The thug went out of his way to kick people on the floor, bloody, yell at people, bully him. So I agree.
All right, boys, that was pretty good. Listeners, let us know if you agree with the boys, or let me know if they were way off with their rankings of the characters, because I know I disagree with at least half of them. All right, that brings us to the end of our spoiler-filled Korean-themed episode. Apologies if you could only listen to half of this week's episode, but be sure to watch the show and then come back. And then also, quick shout out to the TCB Appreciation Society. We see a couple of people join every week, which is always nice. This week, Victor said he was up to his 5th time of re-listening to the show. If you think you can beat that, let us know, and let us know at what time of re-listening you get brain damage. I think that's probably valuable information to know.
And to get all those episodes, you can find them all on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps. The most recent ones are also on YouTube. So if you want a little video experience, you can go on our YouTube channel, Critical Banter, to check them out there. And with all that, we'll see you guys next week.